Hello there and welcome to this week of Rugby League. And in our program, we go to Carrington Park at Bathurst for the highlights, in fact, some very good highlights of the match between St George and a courageous New South Wales Country. On the same night, the same venue, a Commonwealth Bank Cup match, and the highlights there of John Paul II defeating the former favourites Fairfield Patrician in the Commonwealth Bank Cup. We'll have some highlights of the big match on Saturday between Balmain and Cronulla, and of course we'll be featuring the NEC big game between Manly and Penrith, as well as some highlights from all the other Winfield Cup matches. But first things first, let's go back to Carrington Park. As cold as it was, here are the highlights of St George and New South Wales Country. There's the team that he struck on tonight: Duckett, Kinchela, O'Connor, Johnston, Morris, Linane, Haddock, Selby, Walsh, Funnell, Powell, Guida and Jarvis. Now the New South Wales combined country team, and this is the team they've chosen: Parsons, Payton, Spur, Elwyn. He formerly played with the Manly club, coming to them from up at Newcastle. Whittaker, McWhirter, Taylor, O'Grady. Well, of course, Graham needs no introduction. He went from St George to Cudgeon and is playing rugby league at the moment on the Tweed River area of New South Wales. Burt Keevil from Balmain, Brockenshear, Morris and Gibson. They're coached by Alan Thompson still, and that's the way they'll line up here at Carrington Park in Bathurst tonight. Particularly meeting one of the all-time great clubs. First up, St George. This man is Taylor, getting first touch of the ball for country, and he takes it ahead with great gusto. Bumps off Rick Powell, who went in with a shoulder. In the country dressing room, it was significant that Graham O'Grady was doing a lot of the chat. He played with the Saints after being, of course, with Wests and Newtown. The kick came off the boot of Neville Elwyn, another player with a lot of experience, and here's Kinchela now. Good chase by country. That's going to be one of the areas that it may well come down to, and I'm talking about stamina, fitness. Here's a bit of loose ball. They need all of that. Picked up by McWhirter from Gilgandra, the 5/8. And one of the things O'Grady was talking about was to control the ball, play it at our pace. Let's dictate the terms, and to do that you must hold the ball. And here they are within about 5 metres of the line, with Tony Keevil playing it. Swept away now for Taylor, who sees an opening and tries to go through. But Walsh is there to make the tackle.
St George are obviously entitled to favouritism, but I've just got a feeling that country can give them a big fright here.
So country with a couple of fellows running as decoys and leaving the 5/8 with egg on his face. And a scrum is to go down about 15 metres out from the St George line. Perry Haddock working the scrums, and it's a penalty to St George. Well, I should think so. He got the number 10, Keevil, for breaking from the scrum before the ball came out. Played by Selby to Haddock. Funnell. Big men out in the centres. I was going to say 5 tackles, but in fact it's the nullification signal from the referee, so there's 6 more for St George. Touched by country. Jarvis out the back for Haddock. Now Linane. This is O'Connor. Johnston. Inside goes Morris. Oh, good tackle on Johnston. They hit him with everything. That was a solid tackle on Brian Johnston. The country player who made the tackle has hurt himself. Played by Selby. Danger coming here for country. Walsh to play it. Guida passes through Linane to Powell. Powell tries to get back inside them, but O'Grady makes the tackle. Still St George looks strong to the left as Selby comes onto it.
That's that man O'Grady again. He's reading defence tremendously for Country. I just wonder how long he can keep going. He's making every vital tackle for them.
And here's the number 10, Funnel, going back to where the ball was played. And he was tackled by O'Grady. 3 in a row for him. Haddock puts in a little kick, and it's been cleaned up by the Country side. But the referee has ruled that a knock-on took place and a scrum will go down about 7 metres out from the Country goalpost. Here was the action on the Foster's Lager replay. Haddock tried to get a kick in that was probably never on. This is Morris, the hooker from Taree. O'Grady got past the advantage line. In fact, he got up to where the defensive line was standing. They didn't improve ground, and Keevil has done something similar. Taylor, McQuirter, sideline comment, Graham Hughes.
Well, Ray, further to what you and Billy were just saying, I think Graham O'Grady remains the key man. Of course, he's been reading the play 2 and 3 passes out from the rucks. Of course, these are the sort of things that are going to keep Country in the game in this first quarter. But as I was saying, O'Grady's the man, 2 and 3 passes out. That's the problem area with this St George side, out along, say, Mike O'Connor and also Kevin Duckett, who chimed in earlier before.
So a penalty goes to Country. It was against Walsh for hindering the progress of Neville Elwyn. Elwyn went down. He did his job perfectly. It was a real Sophia Loren job.
He has recovered in time to kick the goal.
See it again. He got hit with the other fellow's backside. Chris Walsh's backside has never hurt anybody as much as that, ever. Here's Elwyn's kick, and he's got it. Here's some news for you. If you've taken 24-6 St George to win footy tab, you're trailing 2-0 to Country. Roy Masters, his team trailing 2-0. Kinchella. That's Walsh getting a little handoff from Guida. Haddock, Johnston. This is Duckett. Five gone for St George inside their 22. Funnel's kick is a monster of a kick. Way down inside the Country 22 line. Parsons. Gordon.
So easy.
Keevil. Brockenshire putting it down. Haddock. Funnel. Funnel over the 22. Pulled down eventually by Burt. To the blind side for Lanane. This is Duckett. Country now calling on all their resources to hold St George out. Guida. 5 metres away from the line. Haddock. Powell. 5 gone for the Saints. Funnel steps off his right foot, holds the kick back. Can he get it down? I don't think so. He's been there for an age, and the referee rules held up in goal. 5 metre scrum. So Funnel was given the ball. He had the option, of course, of the grubber kick, the chip, but elected the dummy, and he tried to go himself. Jarvis. It seems to me that St George are going to persevere with trying to batter their way through, although they look like they might come wide now. O'Connor, Lanane pulled down by Spur.
This will be a very trying time for Country. St George getting a roll on, and Country players will be just starting to feel the pinch as far as their conditions concerned.
The backs seem to have said, well, you've had your chance, we'll give it a go. Haddock, Selby out wide, a little bit of a stutter in his run. There's the try that they've been searching for, scored by Jeff Selby. So St George are finally on the board. And not only that, they're in front, leading by 4 points to 2. There's the Foster's Lager replay as Selby got around Graham O'Grady and got in between a couple of others. And Jeff Selby it is who goes in to score St George's first try.
One had the feeling that St George were brewing up to something and the country defence was starting to look tired. Graham O'Grady must have missed a fairly simple tackle on Selby. He gave him the right hand, Fenn pushed him off and was able to career over beside the uprights.
The attempted conversion from Mike O'Connor. That's successful. So the Saints lead now by 6 points to 2. Taylor getting it out the back to McWhirter. That's still play on. Spur in possession, the centre. Dummy half Keeble. That's Gibson. About 25 metres from the Saints line. Morris, Taylor, O'Grady, Elwyn. Haddock the tackler, no marker. There is now. Gordon. Inside the 22, I tell you what. Oh, he's thrown the ball deliberately forward, I would have thought, to McWhirter. He's only ruled that the ball went forward. I thought he could have penalised Gordon for intentionally throwing the ball forward. But I'll tell you what, this is the second time he's handled this big fellow, and he's got an unbelievable fend. Haddock, Jarvis. Guida. And there's the half-time hooter in the background as Lenane's kick will go very close to the touchline. In fact, finds it, so the referee will want no more. And St George repeating, leading New South Wales country 6-2 at the break. Country coming up with the ball, a mistake made by Guida and Walsh jointly. And this is Taylor. Gibson. Now it's Keeble. Richie Powell's got a habit. That's not the first time in the match, but probably the second or third time. He'll go for a shoulder charge, and as you well know, if that misses, a player can keep going even so far as to score a try. In fact, 4 misses, the statistician has just relayed to me. Gibson. Grubber kick coming off one of the Saints to another Saint in an offside position. And ask yourself what you'd do with the play just 10 metres out from your own line. You know you're offside. There's a ball there to be picked up either by you or the opposition, and the opposition's got 10 metres to go to score a try. Good kick, it never left the mark. Hit it sweetly, picks up the 2 points. Saints 6, Country 4. Elwyn puts the kick in. Duckett. Good tackle.
The half-time break certainly didn't do Country any harm. They've come out all fired up again as they did in the first quarter.
Little Perry Haddock is underneath that tackle from McWhirter. Here's O'Connor. About 16 metres out from his own line. 6-4, Saints leading. Powell's lost it.
And there you have the result of constant hard-hitting defence. Country made 3 or 4 tackles. Finally, they were able to jolt the ball loose, and it's their turn now to put some pressure on the Dragons.
Neville Elwyn to play it. This is O'Grady. Gibson. Taken by Walsh. Powell over the top. They're 5 metres from the line. O'Grady. O'Grady! 5 tackles gone. Ever so close. going hard for the line, and I think he's across as the second rower. Short. Let's have a look at it again to see how close Burt, the second rower, actually got. He was running like a man possessed. The gentleman on the local scoreboard here at Carrington Park must have frozen up. Still hasn't realised they've picked up the extra 2 points, Country. This is Lenane. Following through, Brian Johnston.
Country have just gone off the boil in the last couple of minutes after that great start they made to this third quarter. What they need is another big hit or a long break to give them a little bit more confidence again.
Lenane with a little chip over the top, and oh, very close to the regather. 6 more tackles, though. That's how close he came. Parsons, the fullback. This is O'Connor. Right. O'Grady got him in a beautiful cover tackle.
A great tackle by O'Grady. He read that to perfection. He knew where O'Connor was going, gave him a little bit of space, lined him up and hammered him.
Funnel! Steve Funnel in to score. So St George have finally prized Country open. The fullback was beaten, one of the props was beaten, and so was the winger. See it again on the Foster's Lager replay.
St George weathered everything Country could throw at them, and then it was their turn, and Funnel just proved too big, too strong, too fast.
Scoreline 10-4 now. Coiling it around and between the uprights, over the crossbar. St George 12, Country 4. McWhirter. Brockenshire. In fact, I think the last time we televised the St George match, Billy Noak was our man of the match, was he not, Graham?
Well, he certainly was, Ray, and I think Billy Noak and Graham Wynn probably hold the key to these what's left of this third quarter and also the fourth quarter. Teddy Goodwin said it, Billy has already mentioned it, and so did I. The fact that St George just aren't playing the ball wide enough. And Noak and Wynn, of course, are great broken field runners, and they're the guys that should be sent on out there very shortly, in my mind, or to my way of thinking, and put out 2 and 3 passes wide.
This is Whittaker, centre field kick, taken by Duckett. St George fullback, eyes on the ball. Morris. Taylor. O'Grady. Intercept. Johnston. They won't catch him, I wouldn't think. Not unless they've got Jesse Owens in their team. Brian Johnston scores the try. You can see it coming half an hour before it left Graham O'Grady's hands. The defence had gotten between O'Grady and the man for whom it was intended, and Graham decided to hold it back and still pass it just a fraction of a second later. He was trying to throw the cutout pass. See it all? But that man was obscured from O'Grady's view when he actually let it go. And Brian Johnston was off into the open, and an easy 4-pointer for the Saints.
Graham O'Grady threw the dummy, but what that did really was give Brian Johnson even further time to park himself in the middle of the attack. He came up with the intercept. He was chased by Rod Whittaker, who I thought showed plenty of pace. He got an ankle tap on Johnson, but it wasn't enough to stop him.
And St George now 18, Country 4. Moy in 16, McWhirter, Morris. It's just simply going to say that though they've been beaten quite soundly, they haven't stopped trying. It's been one of the better performances I've seen from Combined Country in their first public exhibition. Grubber kick ahead by Gibson, and forced in goal by St George, so a line dropout. Haddock. Lenane. Lenane will score here if he can only just keep it on the boot. No, he's overrun it. Still alive is Lenane. Struck through by Country. 6 more for the Saints. Funnel. Morris. Noak. Billy Noak inside the 32. Lenane still down after being tackled. Wynn switching the point across through Guida. Here's Selby. Selby going very close. He's going to score. Jeff Selby goes in to score. It's his second try, is it not? St George 22. New South Wales Country 4. There's the Foster's Lager replay of it. He's had a picnic out wide tonight, Jeff Selby. And here he is going in for his second try.
Graham Wynn did well to read that the opportunity was on the other side of the field. He switched it to Selby. Selby had support, but he didn't need it.
3 from 4 for O'Connor. Now it's 4 out of 5. And St George leading by 24 points to 4. Haddock. Snoke. Wynn. Well tackled by Neville Elwyn. Morris, around 1. Centre kicks. A race for the ball between the fullback and Graham Wynn. And he's lost it. It'll be a try. St George players left, right and centre diving for it. Now, who in the hell has scored it? Graham Wynn.
Perry Haddock.
Perry Haddock, you reckon? Anybody else want to have a guess? Here it is coming head-on into the Channel 10 cameras. Wynn certainly got the first shot at it. He had to hurdle one. You reckon it was Perry Haddock, eh?
I think it was. Perry looked fairly excited after it all. A good chip by Morris. He never had the opportunity to chase. Graham Wynn looked like he was going to get there first. Couldn't get his hand on the ball, and Perry Haddock snuck in underneath him.
Connor's kick has hit the upright and gone in. So the Saints leading by 30 points to 4.
It's just the sort of confidence booster that we probably needed, and really mistakes have been at a minimum early, and they've started to experiment a little bit with the ball as the game's gone on.
And beautiful passing by the Saints. Wynn and O'Connor handled before Slippery Morris was put into an opening, and Morris goes on all the way to score almost around behind the uprights. 34-4 to the Saints. See it again on the Foster's Lager replay as Mike O'Connor fended off a player, went in and went out, and then Graham Wynn came in, and O'Connor got involved again there. So Morris was then the recipient of the perfect ball, and once he sees daylight or open space as he does here, there's no stopping him. There's O'Connor. I thought I might have called him incorrectly, but by Jove, that was a good piece of work by Mike O'Connor.
It was good play. He was able to keep the ball alive by wrapping around Graham Wynn. A little bit of daylight was given to Steve Morris, and of course, once he sees that, it's shut the gate.
Slight angle and successful. A big night off the boot, but he hasn't had a very difficult job, really. 36-4 in favour of the Dragons. As hard as Country has tried, they haven't been across that St George line. Taylor. And that's been knocked on by the number 3, Spur. So this scrum will barely have time to pack. See it again. Taylor, his kick going into the legs of Lenane and then off the wrist of Spur. Crowd counting down the final seconds. There's the siren now. Won by St George. Perry Haddock takes the tackle, and there is no more. St George defeating New South Wales Country by 36 points to 4 after we had a fairly keen struggle to half-time. Selby 2 tries, Funnell, Johnston, Haddock and Morris a try each. O'Connor 6 goals, and Elwyn kicked 2 for the New South Wales Country team. So 36 points to 4. St George going on now to play Manly at the Newcastle International Sports Centre on next Wednesday night.
Great run by Beecroft, taking play up to within 10 metres of the line. He unloads it this time to Krogan, and finally he's taken in the tackle, only about 5 metres short. There's Beecroft charging for the line. He's held up to just about a metre short. Let's see what their tactics are. It's back to Watson. The chip over the top. It came off a John Paul player, but the man coming back is Matt Holder to win back possession for John Paul College.
Both of these sides have had the benefit of coaches that have had a great part in the game. Mick Hardish, you've already mentioned, who's a former grade coach with Canterbury. He's played his part with Patrician brothers, and Kevin Smythe, the former international, has been one of the helpers with John Paul. So they've been very well schooled in the arts of the game.
Bukowski. So it's Fairfield on the attack as Kyle White's wrapped up in the tackle, only about 2 metres short of the line. Bukowski on the burst. Oh, that's good defence by John Saint. Put the big second rower straight on the ground, about a metre out from the line. White got it out through Watson. That's a long pass. Beautifully taken by Robertson. Beautiful pass finally out. And there's the first points of the game, scored by Kyle Ashpole. But the try has been disallowed. I think he's run over the dead ball line, Bill. Let's have a look at it in replay. That's the only thing I can see. That's a great cut-out pass. Good hands.
Well, it was a lay-down try here. The winger, the number 5, Ashpole, obviously lost sights of where he was going. He didn't look for the goalpost, went over the dead ball line, and he'd be a disappointed young man.
So the man into dummy half is Jamie O'Keefe. They work the short side again. That's Van Cloister.
Oh, that was a great shoulder charge. I'm not an advocate of the shoulder charge, but that one really sickened him.
O'Keefe. Here it comes again in replay, and that had shades of Tarmity and Rowan Hancock at Lang Park, that one, Bill, from about 1982.
Oh, the defence in this game has been the best, the most powerful defence we've seen in any Commonwealth Bank Cup game this year. There's no quarter given or asked. Both teams realise that this is knockout football. It's sudden death. One mistake here and you're out of the competition.
So Fairfield in possession, midway between the half and the quarter line at their end of the ground as Finale gets up to play the ball. It goes out through Watson. Out to Bukowski, but the pass has gone forward. In fact, Bukowski's been ruled offside, and so a penalty will in fact go to John Paul College. So 17-year-old John Saint with the ball placed around about 24, 25 metres out. It's just about 5 metres to the left of the upright. Let's see what he can do with it. A chance to put John Paul College into the lead. He's taken it well off the boot. It looks good from here. Both flags go up. And so the team from Marayong hit the lead by 2 points to 0 in this 4th round clash of the Commonwealth Bank Cup. Well, why Fairfield would be the favourites going into this 4th round clash, looking over the history books, in 1984 in the Tamworth knockout there was a win by John Paul College over the Fairfield side, and again in 1985 in the Metropolitan Catholic School competition we saw John Paul get up with victory on that occasion as well. There's Drake again with a big don't argue, unloaded the ball nicely, this time to Harris. He stepped back inside. He steps beautifully for a big 5/8, Bill.
They've got some very good players, John Paul, and not only that, they're combining very well as a team. They're obviously well coached, and Patrician brothers are realising they've got a game on their hands.
There's John Saint. Beautiful pass back into Saint again. Oh, and that's a solid tackle by Ashpole. Gee, that was a bone jarrer. But they're still in possession of the ball. A loose pass on the ground. McIntyre cleans it up for John Paul. He's wrestled to the ground by the fullback Craig Love. O'Keefe goes into dummy half. Back to Saint. Up in the air it goes. That's a good kick too, swirling around in the breeze. It's dropped by Watson. He's under pressure but evades the first tackle of Michael Krogan. And finally settles it down for Fairfield about 15 metres out from their own line. It's Craig Love.
A good halfback's got to be able to vary his game, not just catch and pass. He's got to be able to do that, but he's got to be able to take the ball to the line as well and run on his own if necessary.
Well, again, the inside back's under pressure, but Robertson got away from the tackle. But all credit to John Paul's defence. They have been bustling this Fairfield side. Here's Watson again. Beautifully picked up that time by Finale. Back inside to Watson. Got the pass away. Bukowski was the man that backed up and grubbed it into touch. So good support play by Fairfield, but still under pressure. Alex Geddes. Oh, that's a great break by Geddes, up over halfway. Geddes in the clear, still stepping. Nearly lost the ball. Finally wrestled to the ground. Will Saint go on his own from dummy half? He's a big lad. He decides to do that and takes play right to the quarter line. In fact, takes play inside Fairfield's.
Well, you get the feeling at the moment, don't you, that John Paul are just starting to get on top. They're standing in tackles, getting the ball away, and in the last couple of sets of 6, they've been able to break the line continually.
Here's Beecroft, charging run upfield, but that's good defence by Bukowski. Final tackle for John Paul. O'Keefe out to Malone. Geddes unloaded the pass beautifully to Walker. McIntyre still stepping. Walker can't handle on it, and it goes into touch. Yeah, they do look under pressure, Bill.
They are. They're in all sorts of trouble. A couple of the players look like they might be carrying injuries. John Paul have been hitting the ball hard. They've been moving the ball around. We can see here a pass popped up in an almost impossible situation. Another one looped around the back. The player looked like he might have been able to get into the clear, but they came up with the drop ball. But they're still in a position where Patrician brothers are doing it very tough.
And they trail by 2 points to 0. Patrician brothers Fairfield trailing John Paul College of Marayong from the Blacktown area in Sydney. School that's only been established some 4 years. They've got the penalty.
And this is going to be a very testing time for the Blues.
Beecroft, what's he going to do? He's going to tap and run on his own. Beecroft charges for the line. Is he over? The referee awards it. So Greg Beecroft scores his 5th try in the Commonwealth Bank Cup for 1986 and puts his team in the lead by 6 points to 0.
Well, you can put this try down to some individual flair, but also a great amount of determination. Beecroft took the quick tap, which indicated that he thought he could get there. The Patrician brothers' defence wasn't quite set. They got him just short of the line, but he rolled over and slammed the ball down for the 4 points.
That's Beecroft. Oh, he split them again. Steps inside Bukowski, but he was ankle tapped and finally goes to ground 10 metres in Fairfield's end of the ground.
Beecroft's got a very good right foot step, and when he takes the ball up in the centre of the rucks, he's taking a lot of holding.
Alex Geddes tries to go in and around his opposite number, Frank Salerno, but he was well taken in the tackle. Saint puts the ball high in the air, and that's put pressure on Love again. McIntyre coming through. He's knocked the ball on. It's picked up by the 5'8", Scott Harris.
That's 6 again.
O'Keefe. So Fairfield under pressure. McIntyre, it goes out to Saint. He's got Holder on his outside. Saint got the pass away. Holder for the corner and in. Tremendous try. 10 points to 0. The boys from Marayong have hit the lead. And aren't they ecstatic? Have a look at the reaction there.
Well, this was a great try. The ball was shifted out to the right-hand side. Saint looked to pass, but he realised that he could go on his own. He broke through a tackle, floated the ball over the top to Matt Holder. Holder set his sights on the try line, stretched out, reached out for the line and came up with a vital try just before half-time. Tremendous try here by John Paul College as Matt Holder does the finishing work, and he crosses for his 4th try of the competition in 86. They look a very polished side indeed, John Paul College. Let's see what John Saint can do. There's his kick. He struck it well as he got the distance. Flags waving it away. So at Carrington Park, it's 10 points to 0 in favour of Marayong over Patrician brothers Fairfield. That's Scott Hartis, son of coach Mick Hartis, taking play right to the quarter line. Back in field this time for Steve Finale. 18 metres out from the line. Good work by McPherson. That was a great run. He really caught them napping close to the ruck, and now a chance for Fairfield to storm back into this match. Long pass. The two Robertsons combining again, but good defence by Saint, who came up. He made sure he put Paul Robertson on the ground on that occasion. Watson
Finale.
There's a chance.
White propped, came back infield, still stood in the tackle, unloaded the pass. Finale, support on the outside, but Greg Drake wraps him up well and truly. Fairfield in possession. Watson. They look disorganised, Fairfield, and White drops the ball. They seem to lack that pattern of play.
I thought they had an opportunity to score on the second last tackle when they were near Patrician, near John Paul's line. They didn't take advantage of it, and consequently they dropped the ball.
Watson skirting the edge of the scrum. Fullback Craig Love in a dummy half. He decides to run, but makes only a metre or two before he's well and truly caught by his opposite number. Robertson for Bukowski. Got the pass, popped it up well. Paul Robertson, support of Sully outside, but again, that good defence in the form of Scott Harris, the 5'8" for John Paul College. White, bumped off one. Back for Watson. Slipped under the tackle. Can he get the pass away? It's gone astray. And finally dived on by Michael Krogan. Now, can Fairfield hold out this John Paul College attack? They've looked vulnerable on occasions tonight. Holder. He's already scored one try in this match so far.
Well, John Paul have got nothing to do, really. It's just a matter of holding the ball for 6 tackles and playing out time. I think that if they do that, they'll probably score again, but their tactic should be just to control possession and they'll win this match.
There's Reid. Reid for the line. He's only a metre short. The tiny little hooker O'Keefe goes into dummy half. McIntyre. That's Harris. Stood in the tackle, but wrapped up by his opposite number, Jason Robertson. O'Keefe again, elects to go the other side through McIntyre. Beautiful pass to Saint. Couldn't unload the pass. Good defence by Fairfield. Last tackle. McIntyre slots in a dummy half. Beecroft, little grubber kick through. And Fairfield come up with possession, but still under pressure, just a metre out from their own line. Good play by Reid. Driving play. Upfield. McIntyre. Beat one tackle, and he takes it to just about 12 metres short of the Fairfield line.
But John Paul are playing like winners now. Everything they do smacks of confidence. They're running hard. They're getting rid of the ball in tackles. They realise they can win this game, and they're going right on with the job.
O'Keefe, Beecroft, solid run again by the big lock forward.
You just get the feeling they're going to score at any time.
O'Keefe elects to come the open side. Drake, he'll take a bit of stopping from there. He's held up short of the line and can't get the pass away. Beecroft, don't be surprised if he goes on his own from dummy half. He's already done it once in this match. Last tackle coming up. Watch for Saint here. McIntyre, Saint, a little grubber kick. Picked up beautifully by Fairfield. Here's a chance for White over the corner line. But good defence by the replacement players in the side, Luke Baxter. And there's Ashpal. He was stopped in his tracks by big Greg Drake earlier, but he's shown commitment out there, the left winger for Fairfield. McPherson out through Robertson to his brother Jason. Finale taken in the tackle.
They're just not going anywhere, are they, Patrician brothers? They've thrown everything at this John Paul defence and it hasn't cracked. Here's another raid coming now.
White, good pass for Robertson. Robertson in the clear. He's got Ashpal in support. He's gone on his own.
He'll go all the way.
This is going to be a great try. It certainly is. Paul Robertson, first try for Fairfield tonight. And didn't he stand his man up on the outside, Bill Anderson?
Well, these are the sort of tries that I saw from Paul Robertson last year. I mentioned earlier in the broadcast that he was the one player capable of scoring for tries that went the length of the field. And here he did it. It was a slight overlap to Patrician brothers, but he didn't need the man on the outside. Kyle White fired the pass onto Paul Robinson. He beat his man with a body swerve. The cover defence was coming across at him. He realised that he had the pace to go on with it and dived over for a very important try.
Mark McPherson can land this kick from about 5 or 6 metres in from touch. He kicks with the left foot. His coach told me he's been a little bit inconsistent so far in the Commonwealth Bank Cup, but if ever he needed one, it was that one. So we've got a ball game on our hands. It's 10 points to 6. Marayong clinging to that lead. Good smothering play that time by Krogan.
Six
more
to go
tackle.
And 40 seconds to go.
Bukowski. Last chance now for Fairfield. They must maintain possession in this 6 tackle count. White. McPherson, the kick for the corner post. And that will go dead in goal. Well, I would have been more inclined to use up the tackle count.
I probably would have too, but it's very easy when you're looking from up here on a scaffolding down on the match. Players have got to make instant decisions.
So Luke Baxter takes it upfield for John Paul. They're only seconds away from an appearance in the quarter-final of the Commonwealth Bank Cup, but Kyle White's got the ball back for Fairfield. Sarkisian got it away to White. There it goes across the line. Sarkisian again. Robertson, last chance for Fairfield. Good defence, back infield. And that could be the ball game. It is, in fact, John Paul College withstand the final assault of Fairfield to advance to the quarterfinals of the Commonwealth Bank Cup.
Well, the big weekend of Anzac Day football was going to start with a great clash between South Sydney and Canterbury Bankstown at the Sydney Cricket Ground. In fact, there was a crowd well in excess of 25,000 at the SCG, and of course they were all expecting a great clash between these two sides. But no one was expecting the sensational beginning.
From the kick-off, Canterbury prop forward Peter Kelly was sent from the field for an alleged head-high tackle on Rabbitohs winger Ross Harrington, as the match was just 15 seconds old. Canterbury left with 12 men for the rest of the match. If Kelly is found guilty and is suspended, it will be a cruel blow to his representative future and the Kangaroo Tour. But his dismissal brought out the Bulldogs' typical fighting spirit. Despite claims of a shepherd, referee Mick Stone had no hesitation in awarding this try to Andrew Farrer just 10 minutes from half-time. South's fullback Neil Baker was second in a heavy tackle, and while he was receiving attention, referee Mick Stone ruled David Gillespie didn't ground the ball and said no try. However, minutes later, Terry Lamb handled twice before sending Peter Mortimer over as the Bulldogs led 16-2 at the break. Canterbury followed in East, Balmain and Penrith's footsteps of last weekend by cementing their win despite a man short, but aided once again by Terry Lamb's brilliance as Peter Mortimer crossed in the second half to extend the Bulldogs' lead. And as the full-time hooter was approaching, they scored a gem of a try. As Andrew Farrer finished off for his second, the Bulldogs had overcome the odds and showed just how much a threat they will be in the defence of their title come September. The final score, Canterbury 26, South Sydney 2.
The big question for the Saturday clash at Leichhardt Oval between Balmain and Cronulla was, could Jack Gibson continue to patch his injury-riddled Sharks team together? The answer, well, our cameras go to Leichhardt Oval for all the highlights.
Porter. No score in the game so far. Withall. Gary Jack to clean it up. He got there, and the penalty is against the defence. We'll have a look at the replay of it, but I think you'll find that they hammered him before he got to the ball. Watch it.
Very interesting though, Jim. Look who's one of the first men there. The guy that kicked it, the hooker Withall.
Elias finds Surinam. This is a good move by Balmain. They are really revved up at the moment.
Steaming onto the ball. Hardwick.
Elias directs the play. Up comes Roach. And that's good defence too. Underneath was Michael Speechley from the centres. And it's Cronulla offside. Creeping up on the blind side of the ruck. And a chance for Conlon to get the first points of the day. Well, Ross Conlon has missed a couple of easy kicks this year. His record stands at about 62% conversion rate on the shots he's had. And this is on a fairly comfortable angle. There's a little breeze here today. He's hit it well, and there it is. 2 points to Balmain. 10 minutes into the game. Looks like a tight head to the Sharks. There's Philip Dotty. Pretty quick.
He sure is. I saw him score a try in that trial against Manly, Jim. He beat about 5 players.
That's Philip Hurst. And Cronulla fired up here. Kennedy
Saw an opening. And the Balmain defence just standing back a little bit here. That's Porter. Here's a chance. Speechley, he'll score! Michael Speechley has scored for Cronulla, the first try of the game. And what a fillip that'll be to the Sharks. Just the average age of 22 in this side today. And here's how it happened.
Just a simple procedure, getting the ball out wide and missing the man out. There's the ball. Missed the man out. Speechley says, thank you very much indeed. Good try.
And it's not a good one. It was a quick stab and missed the post, Balmain. A switch, Pearce. Couldn't slip it. 3 Cronulla defenders hugging the ball to him. Gale, kicked by Cronulla, back to Conlon. Humphreys goes down. Last tackle, the crowd don't like it. Gale's bomb. Jack's in there. Jack's got it, he's popped it up. Look at Pearce. Just short of the line, it's the last tackle. Well, clearly the referee thought that it was accidentally played by Cronulla back there when it hit one of their players' feet.
Well, the Cronulla defender had little chance to make any motion to get the ball. There's a hard kick aimed at the legs, and they've used that a few times. A lot of sides this year, Jim, have used it. Just kick the ball against the feet, and good play by the referee to let it go on.
That was beautiful work by Diamond, but Withall's kick, where's that going? Out on the full. It was a bit of a speculator. When Diamond had done all the good work, he stood up in a couple of tackles, gave it to Withall, and he's thrown it into touch. He was trying to clear it downfield. So Balmain a chance again, down by 2 points here. Gary Jack is lined up on the right-hand side. Watch the play here. Gale's going to score. That was a bit too easy. Scott Gale running from the scrum base, cruised through. Balmain in the lead again.
A very simple try, just holding the ball. You see Craig Diamond a little bit slow to get across, and the gap appearing. The halfback, Paul Kennedy, really should have committed himself a little bit more. You can't allow a player of Scott Gale's ability. There you see the halfback stranded way behind the pack. There you see him trying to come in for the tackle, but I'm afraid just a little bit too late.
Conlon, another comfortable shot for him. And he's kicked it out of light into darkness. 2 points. So it's Balmain 8, Cronulla 4. Diamond. Withall, Kennedy, Dotty. Well picked up by Speechley. He's made a bust. And it was Scott Gale covering, as he does so well. And the penalty against Gale, holding Speechley down in the tackle.
That was beautiful play by Philip Dotty. Magnificent ball he got away, and it was good play by Speechley, but a good tackle, cover tackle by Gale.
Kennedy's ball. That's strong defence, isn't it? Paul Bevan came up with Pearce, made it tough for Hurst. Wicks. Kennedy was going to show it for a kick. Intercepted. That's Stanton. A bit loose. The pass was meant for Perry. Stanton said thanks. Balmain rush it. Conlon. Gary Jack. Gustard made the tackle. That's Gale. Stanton. Tackled by Wicks. A couple of Cronulla players injured back there. Gale. Sirinen. Halfway through. Look out. Oh, the pass was knocked down, I think, from Conlon. And there'll be a scrum. He tried to get the ball on quickly. They had a bit of an overlap. Watch it.
Well, it was good play by Sirinen. Beats the man, gets the ball away. And really, they should have made more of this. A bad ball, nowhere in the world. Not even the Australian fullback, Gary Jack, can expect to catch those.
And Mark Wakefield, looking a lot happier than he has for the last few weeks, having had a run today. He's back there with his teammates in reserves and under-23s. Scott Gale's off again. Look out, folks. Here he goes. Cut down by Diamond. And Stanton knocked over, perhaps accidentally, by Scott Gustard, trying to get back into position. But it had to be a penalty.
Well, Gustard just gets in the way here. And really, I don't think he did it intentionally. Trying to get up there, you see the play of the ball, and Gustard throws his hands up and said, well, I can't do anything about it, referee.
Look at this one fly. Isn't it a beauty? Straight over. It went over the fence on the full. Big kick from Conlon. Been a few scrum penalties against Cronulla. They've had Gustard and Kennedy swapping spots. There'll be a few hot moments before half-time for Cronulla. Stanton's ball to Conlon. Speechley tackled him. Didn't finish it. Stanton. Must be a show here any moment. Stanton plays it. Pearce a dummy half. Bevan. Gale. Put him down, someone. Terrible pass in the end. Well, he made it. He made all the play and then threw it away.
Bit of panic football there by the Tigers.
Speechley's ball goes to Kennedy. They must be getting a bit dizzy in the heat. Some wild passes. Withall goes to Hurst, flattened in the tackle. Good, legitimate, robust play from Hardwick and Sirinen. Away goes Gustard. He's going up to halfway. Here comes Gale's tackle, but he finds Davies on the flank. And Davies over the halfway mark. Fine run by Scott Gustard. Philip Dotty. Dotty. Look at this. He's dancing. The man's dancing. Larry Corowa revisited. Withall. That's Philip Hurst.
And there's Frank Stanton.
Signing autographs.
As happy as ever.
Hurst. Away it goes to Diamond. Speechley. Speechley's made a good run. Some awful defence that time. They only waved goodbye to him as he rushed up. Perry. Keep going. Stanton made the tackle. On the stroke of half-time. Last tackle, Withall. Kicked through by Donny. Scrambled up there by Gary Jack. It could have gone anywhere. And there's been an injury there to Kennedy. Look at this.
Well, the kick, as you said, Jim, could have gone anywhere. Dotty got his foot to it, and the Australian fullback, Jack, straight to it.
Lass getting up very uncomfortably. Roach pinned down. Here's the last tackle for Balmain. Hardwick takes the tackle. It's half-time. And Balmain really haven't had it all their own way in the first half. They've scored a try and kicked 3 goals for that score of 10 points. Gale went over. Conlon's kicked 3 goals, and Speechley scored the try for Cronulla. Withall. Miscued kick. Gale on the clean-up to Jack. Big run by Jack. It's a hot ball. Stanton. Gale. That's Pearce. Conlon. Pearce. Gale. Brooks. Just starting there with Wheeler. Elias off Roach. Beautiful ball to Stanton. Stanton stepping, and Hurst makes the tackle classically. Ball and all. He's over. No try. Knocked it on. Brooks.
Well, Balmain seemed to be taking more time into getting position than actually watching the play of the ball.
Pearce.
Bit of spontaneous football would be far better.
Roach. Touched by Cronulla. Gale. Gale in the breakout. Down to Hurst. Through Hurst. Kennedy made the beautiful tackle. What a cover job from Kennedy on his opposite. They've still got it hot. Stanton's ball to Conlon. There's Elias. Now Jack. He gives it to Pearce. And for the corner, Gardner. Is he over? Yes, that's a try. No try. He was over, but he couldn't get it down. No try to Balmain. Russell Gardner over the line. What happened? Lost it. He lost it in the tackle. Balmain 10, Cronulla 4. Gustard defeated. Tight head Balmain. Here's a try. Campbell heading for the line. A metre short. This time Bevan will score. Bevan scores the try. It came from a scrum win on the tight head to Balmain. And once the line was broken, Cronulla just couldn't recover.
Well, here we see the ball. They've had a lot of problems, Cronulla, around that scrum base. Allowed a lot of space there. And, well, they have those problems. They've got to get them sorted out quickly. Here we see a simple try to Paul Bevan.
He kicks it, and it's a good lead for Balmain now. 16-4 ahead. Gale's off. He gets past Diamond. Ankle tap there by Scott Gustard. Campbell, Conlon. Hardwick. That's Roach. Roach halfway through to Jack. Campbell, Gale, Conlon, pass it. He did, but they've lost it. Where's it gone? It's a knock on. Wayne Smith with it. Gustard's ball out to Hurst. Pearce in for the tackle. Balmain ball. Conlon plays it. Quick one here. Bevan. Bevan motoring. 5 metres short. Roach with Elias. Elias into an opening, and he's in! Well, they've been building up to it the last few minutes. A lot of pressure on Cronulla, who again gave the ball back to them, and Balmain found the gap.
This is the reason why Elias has played for Australia. Step, back again, good individual try, determination on his face.
And now they're down 20-4, and this should be 2 more points. Conlon kicks it. He hasn't missed today. 22-4. 3 tries and 5 goals adding up to that score. Lease. Eddinghausen. Conlon anticipating it. Speechley after it. He's got it. And Elias has got him.
Well, both those players had good games, Elias and Speechley.
Again, Speechley.
And I've no doubt a bit of frustration there, Jimmy.
A bit of lip.
Yes, he really has given his heart and soul into it, this young fella, the young centre, Michael Speechley.
Conlon looking for 6 out of 6 today. Sweetly hit. Look at that.
Like a machine, Jim.
He's a match winner on his own. McInerney from Kennedy. There's Gustard. Hurst tried to slip it, but Eddinghausen had shot past him. Gustard again. Withall. A few times today they had trouble stopping him and putting him on the deck. Kennedy's kick charged down. Back to Kennedy off Porter. Withall puts in another kick. And Jack's back there to clean it up. But he was caught in goal. Here they go. Gustard again. Managed to slip it to Kennedy now. Kennedy, he's made a good break. He was tackled by Wayne Pearce. Porter crunching ahead again. Lease, Speechley, Gustard, straightens it. Speechley. Nixon. Straight down the throat of Russell Gartner. Jack. Pearce, good work to Gartner. Down he flows towards the fullback. Now what can Hurst do here? Beautifully positioned there. Conlon throws it back infield and Hurst is there to gather it. The good work by Hurst. Hurst it was who made the tackle way back there. So the game ends with a really good move. Gartner getting it to Conlon, who hurled it back in field, only to see Hurst grab it and break up what could have been another Balmain try. So the end of the show here at Leichhardt, 24-4, 3 tries to 1. And the tries went to Elias, Bevan, and in the first half, Scott Gale, 6 goals to Conlon. Speechley scored for Cronulla. 24-4 at full time.
Welcome to the NEC big game in round 8 of the Winfield Cup between Warringah and Penrith, with today's match coming from the Sea Eagles home ground here at Brookvale. Manly come into this game after going down 30 points to 20 last Sunday to Western Suburbs, while Penrith had that courageous win by 16-12 over competition leaders Parramatta. So only 2 points separate today's teams after 7 rounds of the Winfield Cup. The Manly team lineup is Gurr, Ronson, Cleal to the centres with Shearer, Blake, Cox, Hasler, Lyons to lock and Vorton to second row, Gibbs, Hardy, Cochrane and Daly, and their coach is Bobby Fulton. The Penrith team looks like this: Robards, Green, Izzard, Wolf, Lydiard, Clements, Alexander, Connor, Horton, Cartwright, Broman, Simmons and Gerard, and they're coached by Timmy Sheens. The last time they met was at the Sydney Cricket Ground in a playoff last year, and Penrith were the victors. The referee for today is Kevin Roberts. So Manly running from left to right. And this is Wolf. Lyons, Vorton and Hasler combining in the first tackle. Connor in the headgear. Broman. Roy Simmons. 3 times they met during 1985. Penrith won all 3. This is Blake. That's not a bad looking kick. In fact, it's going to find touch, I do believe. No, it's just stopped in from the touchline. Lydiard. Cartwright. Lyons was underneath and he hadn't been cleaned up, so Daly came over the top. Chris Houghton, centre winger, now playing in the second row. Brad Izzard. Idiard. 5 gone for the Panthers. Alexander. This is Lyons. Hasler came to Manly from Penrith.
He's going to be a very important man for Manly today. Here we can see him getting a penalty after he's been held in to play the ball, but Manly's success seems to invariably go hand in hand with big performances by Hasler and their 5'8" Mitchell Cox, and conversely Penrith rely very much on their halfback Greg Alexander, so the battle of the halves today could well determine the outcome.
Reasonable sized crowd, probably around 8,000. But still this Indian summer continues, and very much a day for the beach, I suppose, in the minds of a lot of people who live on the peninsula, as Manly get another penalty. And with the breeze at their back, it's within kicking distance.
Maybe for Ross Conlon, but not Dale Shearer. Although I agree with you fully, I think it was a kick that was in the range of a reasonable kicker. Manly have been putting a bit of pressure on, and it could well be that they've made a decision they want to continue to apply pressure early in the match.
Cox. Daly. Another penalty to Manly. This time Dale Shearer won't be kicking for the line. Right in front. About 15 metres out. Cochrane, the kicker. Mel Cochrane with this chance to put first points on the board. It came off the outside edge, hit the inside edge of the uprights, and it's 2 points to Manly. Manly 2, Penrith no score. Early minutes of the NEC big game. I was talking about the breeze earlier on. It looks fairly strong, Graham, from up here.
Well, it's actually not. There is a breeze behind Manly. It's nothing that I would think would really dominate any part of the play really in this first half of the game. Manly, of course, coming off that loss from Western Suburbs the previous weekend, a big game for them. I think they could probably attribute that loss to the West to that clash against Brisbane midweek in the National Panasonic Cup. But they're up against a strong team today. Penrith are back in form.
David Green. Manly only about 12 metres out, right in the centre of the park. Gerard. Within 5 metres now. Broman runs decoy. Connor follows through on the same path. Alexander sweeping it wide. Wolf comes in. Short ball, Izzard inside Robards. Robards tackled 2 metres out. To the blind again, Alexander. Izzard trying to bullock his way across. 5 tackles gone. And there's the little kick ahead by Clements and Gurr. Hasler, in fact, it is. Raking it over the dead ball line. The NEC replay, it was Greg Clements, a dummy half, who put the kick in. Des Hasler raking it over the dead ball line.
Good pressure early by Penrith. They gave away a couple of penalties in the opening minutes due to over-enthusiasm, but when they had their chance with the ball, they made no handling errors. They kept the pressure on Manly. Manly's defence held tight. Penrith now got a second opportunity to see what they can come up with.
Idiard. Cartwright. Connor, the ball going out the back, fielded by Robards. 6 more tackles. And Robards flung to the ground by Hasler. Broman. Now here's a penalty for Penrith. He's called Bill Hardy out in the number 11 jumper. There's the replay of the incident that has brought a penalty against Manly and Hardy. And Alexander's going to take this kick from just outside the 22. There's the kick by Alexander. Beautiful kick. Splitting the uprights. That's the equaliser. Manly and Penrith, 2 points all. The NEC big game. Izzard.
It's a bit like kicking off to Parramatta and landing it in Eric Gross' hands, kicking to Penrith and giving it to Brad Izzard.
Houghton. Roman. Gerard back to Connor, across to Broman, short ball for Houghton. Alexander. Boy Simmons charged down there by Cliff Lyons, taken in over there on the far side by Wolf. 6 more tackles. And again it's Houghton. Simmons. Connor. Daly. It's the second time Connor has put the ball down when tackled. Cox. Hasler. Gibbs. Cleal. Hasler. Hasler. Still going over the 22 line. The individual brilliance of Des Hasler. Cochrane, Vorton, long ball. There's a gap here for Cox to promote to Gurr. There's a try coming, and going in as Ronson in the corner. Beautifully put together, this Manly try. Everybody did their job. They capitalised on the lead-up work of Des Hasler. Cochrane went to pivot, and then Vorton gave an absolutely perfect pass, and then Gurr simply drew the last line before sending Ronson in to score. That's a very good rugby league try.
Some great work here by Manly, and it was the lead-up, the inside work by the inside backs and Paul Vorton, who was skirting on the fringe of the ruck, that set it all up. The long ball over the top by Vorton. It was fired back onto Gurr, who positioned himself particularly well. He drew the cover defence, got the ball back onto Ronson, and he crosses for an outstanding Sea Eagle try.
Cochrane right on the 22 line. About 1.5 meters in. The breeze will be coming directly across this flight path. Left the boot sweetly. It's just wide. Just offline for Cochrane. 6-2 in favour of Manly. 5 tackles gone. Hasler back for Daly on the bounce to Cox. Inside the 32 again. Up goes the bomb. A test for Robards. Taken by Robards. Tackled by Cleal. And this little man, Robards, already has taken a hell of a battering.
That's a tactic I thought Manly would use a lot more of. Robards is a very good fullback, but he's a short man. Manly can bomb the ball and get some of their taller men on chase. They could come up with a result.
Broman. Gerard. Gerard to the 22 line. He was looking in vain for support. 5 gone as Clements ducks in and puts the kick up. It's going straight to Phil Blake on the halfway. And though they weren't the subject of the era of the bombs, but haven't there been some outstanding fullbacks who were short in stature?
There's another one of them today in Paul Taylor.
And it's a forward pass, the referee said, as Ronson had his eyes set firmly on the uprights and his second try. The pass from Vaughton, no doubt on the NEC replay that it was forward. Missed tackles 11, Manly, Penrith 3. Des Hasler. Cleal. Sideline comment, Graham Hughes.
Ray, this Penrith side are already starting to show signs of really not getting their game into control, especially up the middle of the ruck. Hardy was allowed to stand there. Manly are getting away with murder. Easy plays out of the dummy half position. Cochrane's been able to stand up out wide, then go back up the middle. Penrith have got to get their minds on the job, especially the front rowers.
This is Cleal, tackled about 12 metres out from the Penrith line. Cochrane, Lyons, Cox, Gurr coming fast. He ran as a decoy. The kick by Cox. He was felled late. Green takes the ball and is forced in goal. Roberts looks back just to check Cox, but I believe he saw it when it first happened. And he's indicated, and you've seen it on the replay, that he'll play the line dropout, which indicates that he thinks Cox was foxing for the penalty. It's gone straight to Gurr. And the reason for that is that some Manly defence put pressure on the kicker. It's such an important facet of the game, particularly when you've got adroit kickers such as Alexander in your team, or this man, for instance, Cox. Give them time and they'll land it on a 1-cent piece. Here's Robards coming back, pursued by Blake. And Roberts has called Blake out for a high tackle on Robards. Well, I'm not trying to be funny, but it wouldn't be hard to get pinged for a high tackle on young Robards. He's built so close to the ground. He wouldn't be as big probably as Perry Haddock. And sometimes the bigger men are beaten by these little fellows because they simply can't get down low enough. A tap taken by Mal Cochrane. They tend to start their penalty plays, well, most teams do, looking as though it's the same play as you saw before, but there's always that little variation. This is Daly within 3 metres of the Penrith line.
That was too easy. Manly took the ball up then 20 metres in to play the balls.
Hardy can't take it. Broman picks up the scraps. And this is Clements with a run from dummy half. And a good runner too it was from Clements. It took a lot of pressure off his team. Now Simmons. Tim Sheens is of the belief that he's been overall the best player he's got this season, even when they were playing badly. Now Vaughton is injured. He's nursing an arm or a shoulder as a penalty goes to Penrith. Very concerned about Paul Vaughton. As you know, he's had, it's not his shoulder anyway, it's his wrist. That was the tackle that he was involved in, and you saw immediately his left wrist was in trouble. Vaughton had all that trouble with the shoulder. In fact, there was of grave doubt that he would play this year. Broman. And he's put it down on the very first tackle. Well, that certainly didn't come from any coaching manual. And Tim Sheens will be very disappointed. Hardy. Out the back. There's a chance here for Penrith to come back with the ball. It's between the legs of Connor.
Both sides are guilty of pushing the ball when passes aren't on. They're trying to get away impossible. The passes in impossible situations. They'd be far better served to stick to their game plan, concentrate on what they're doing, inch their way downfield and put on plays as they come.
There's Lydiard down that right flank and into touch. Wednesday night, again, Manly will be on television in what will be a great quarter-final against the Saints at Newcastle. Gurr, you people listening to us in the coalfields, get to the International Sports Centre Wednesday night for what will be a Super Rugby League match. Lions across now for Shearer, around Robards, over the halfway, up to the 32 and the 22. Alexander chases. Well, it was sheer persistence by Alexander. He knew he had the sideline in his favour. Now, it was a great run by Shearer, but it was a tremendous amount of defensive experience from Alexander. He knew exactly where he was on the football field. He had the sideline helping him, and he used every inch of ground that he needed. Penrith on the attack now as Gerard goes ahead about 10 metres, almost up to the Manly 22 line, 32-metre line.
Penrith still trying to throw the ball around, and that's something they do very effectively. If they could just temper that enthusiasm to throw the ball when it's not on, they'd be a great football side.
Well, this is a penalty against Paul Vaughton. Broman was tackled. He tried to get up and play the ball immediately, as the rule suggests, and Paul Vaughton grabs him by the ankle. There it is there. You may not have seen it clearly, but Roberts certainly did. And Bentley has gone on for Penrith in jumper number 16. So here he comes now. Strikes it. He doesn't like it. It's wide. So it'll come out to the 22 for the restart. Manly continue to lead. 6-2 Channel 10 Sports. Cox now with the restart. Now the replacement Bentley comes back to the halfway. Penrith junior, is he? Bentley?
I think he's a boy that came from the country at the start of the season. Tim Sheens had big raps on him, started him in the first grade, then dropped him back to the reserves, but he's obviously shown enough of late to get this chance.
Broman, a long ball on the bounce picked up by Clements. And Clements, a very stockily built man, proving hard to pull down. Hasler eventually made the tackle. Here's Broman, intercepted by young Cochrane. Robards the tackler. Cox, Hasler, Gurr. Vaughton is coming off. Or is he not? No, he's decided to stay. They've called for replacement, Graham, have they?
Yes, Chris Close is down on the sideline here. He's on the phone to Bob Fulton. I think Fulton was reluctant to pull Vaughton off some 5 minutes ago, but Close has been warming up. Vaughton's grabbed his wrist. He said no to the sideline. He's out here playing on the wing. He's no good at all.
Big run by Cochrane inside for Hasler. Hasler's going to go all the way. Another big run by Mel Cochrane, resulting in Des Hasler backing up and scoring. And I'm looking down at the tunnel, and even though he's injured, it brought a smile to Paul Vaughton's face. But here's this hooker, Mal Cochrane. He formerly played as a back. He was a star Australian schoolboy footballer. Hasler simply supported him, and he went over the last 22 metres to put it down for Manly's second try. There it is again on the NEC replay.
Greg Alexander tried the same play as last time, tried to get his hand round the back to stop the inside pass, but couldn't. The pass came to Hasler, and he scorched over for the 4-pointer.
Des Hasler, the man who scored the try. I repeat, it was the lead-up work of his that led to the first try, an excellent rugby league try, the first. And he backed up then and proved the worth of simply supporting the ball carrier. So big Chris Close is on. He'll play centres. Cleal will come back to the scrum and play, obviously, in the second row. A pretty simple change, really, but what an important man to lose. Your captain and a man regarded by many as the best lock forward in Australia. Cochrane now. He's got this one. He deserved to kick it too. It was really his try. And Manly lead by 12 points to 2. Cleo.
Cleel's a living example of what a big man with a bit of a step can do in the middle of the rucks. He so often is able to beat that first defender, then stand and get a pass away.
Lyons with a grubber kick through. He's brought himself a penalty. Referee claiming that after the kick he was tackled. And have a look at it now on the NEC replay. Cliff Lyons, there's the kick. Well, maybe Roberts is right in giving the penalty, but I'd find it a human impossibility for the Penrith tackler to have pulled out of that. A human impossibility. Here it is again. The ball hits the boot. The man is already involved in the tackle.
He'd launched himself, hadn't he?
Two from three for Cochrane. And I would think that at this stage he and Des Hasler would be leading the race for man of the match. But let's get back to that engine room, that vital engine room, and they have got a tremendous lead up from Daly and Hardy. They've been taking them ahead, giving them the groundwork, the spade work for them to put on the flash stuff. And Cochrane's kick, though it wasn't all that fashionable, never left the line. Manly 14, Penrith 2, NEC Big Game, Channel 10. Bob Fulton, the Manly coach, studious as ever. And there's the siren, so referee Roberts calls a halt. I would think a half of football that all and sundry would be happy with from a Manly point of view, apart from the injury to Paul Vaughton.
Ray, in 26 is Joe Vitanza. He's on in place of Darryl Broman. Obviously, instructions from the dressing room from Tim Sheens, tighten up the middle of the rucks. Also, a report on Paul Vaughton. He has been rushed to hospital for x-rays, but I spoke to the Manly doctor. He felt that he was 80% sure. You'll find he's got a fracture to the left forearm.
Shocking news for Paul Vaughton. Is the tackles in the first half, 102 registered by Manly, 84 by Penrith, and Vaughton topped the Manly count on 16. Close. I realise that Manly supporters would be aware of. Here's Gurr making a fine run down the left flank. Gerard's chasing in vain. Comes inside Connor. And Gurr is tackled just outside the Penrith 22. Cleel, Cox, long ball required. Cochrane, back inside. Still going is Cochrane. Now he's tackled just inside the corner. 5 gone for the Eagles. Hardy puts up the bomb. Every Manly player in your picture is onside. Gibbs, oh, goodness gracious. Gibbs was coming from a mile onside.
Terrible mistake by Penrith to let the ball bounce with Gibbs steaming through. We can see here that they were prepared to let the ball bounce and wait for the outcome, and Gibbs, my word, he got a hand to it.
I don't think Ron Gibbs probably thought it was going to be so simple. That was a terrible mistake by Penrith to even contemplate letting it bounce. This is Alexander. I was going to make the point that Manly people would be fully aware of the injury problems that Paul Vaughton has had with the shoulder, but people in league generally wouldn't know he went through some painstaking hours, weeks, months to get back on the football field this year. And if that is a fractured forearm, well, what are we looking at? 6?
At least 6 weeks.
And the state of origin.
Bad news for Queensland now, and as well for Manly. First of all, it was Kerry Bowstead, who's the best finisher in the game, and this time it's Paul Vaughton, one of the best workers in the game.
Simmons. Gerard. Houghton. Connor. Alexander. His kick bouncing up favourably for Phil Blake. Dale Shearer. Hardy, he's lost it. And Cliff Lyons is there to see that a scrum is formed.
Hardy lost that ball purely because of bad timing. He was hitting the ball up a bit too early. Never took his timing off the dummy half. He took it off the person playing the ball. Had to slow down. Had no momentum when he took it and coughed the ball up.
Hasler. Lyons. Shearer. Daly. I like the way Daly's played today, and in fact against Brisbane some of his tackling was very, very strong, and he could even bob up in a city side. Wouldn't surprise anybody. This is Lydiard. Izzard. That's Bentley, who came on during the first half to replace Ken Wolfe. Heavily concussed Ken Wolfe in the first half. This is Cartwright. Picked up by Alexander. He was looking out to his left, but there wasn't a Penrith player on the left, and they were some 20 yards or 20 metres in from the touchline. It's obviously something that Penrith know is happening. This is Clements working with Izzard, and back inside for Bentley. Really on the hurdy-gurdy. A pair of shoulder pads jumped out. Alexander. Lydiard's going very fast. Ronson, oh, Lydiard scores. Well, that's a beautiful piece of chase. A beautiful piece of kick and chase football by Penrith. Perseverance by Lydiard. Ronson probably tried to cover this ball up in a spectacular fashion that maybe wasn't necessary, and Lydiard, simply through persistence, picked up this try for the Panthers.
Here's an example of a player who never gave up. A lot of other footballers might have stopped when they saw Ronson coming, but Lydiard went hell for leather, scooped it up on the run and went over in the one motion. A great individual try.
Here it is again on the NEC replay. David Ronson did not go in with the intention of just simply covering it up and killing it. In fact, he tried to pick it up almost in one fell swoop and keep going. 1 out of 2 for Alexander. And Alexander now has the chance to bring Penrith back to just a 6-point deficit. That he does. And the NEC big game score. Manly 14, Penrith 8. Hasler tackle towards the centre of the ground. Take a sideline comment from Graham Hughes.
Right, probably a little bit further to what I mentioned just prior to the break at half-time there. I thought Manly were really starting to dominate the middle of the rucks. That might work the other way now in this second half somewhat with Vaughton going off. Billy's already mentioned about the fact that Bobby Fulton looking at using replacements in the second half. Very important man in this second half might be the guy sitting on the bench, Richie Paulson. Very noted defender, a strong up-front defender. And don't be surprised if he plays a big part in this second half.
Dale Shearer getting it away at the last moment for Blake. Is it Blake going down that touchline?
I think it's Cochrane. Right? What's he doing out there?
It is Cochrane, would you believe? It was Malcolm Cochrane, all right.
Didn't he show a clean pair of heels? Plenty of pace.
Well, he certainly, he's covered plenty of territory today, Mal Cochrane. Here he is, the hooker. Right down the flank with a huge run, but Penrith coming up with the ball from the scrum. Cartwright.
Penrith runners are going to have to get deeper when they're bringing the ball up. They're taking it after only 1 or 2 steps before the play the ball movement. That's not enough momentum to get the ball going forward.
Alexander's kick going down for Marty Gurr on the quarter. This is Blake. Shearer. You get the impression in the second half that Shearer has gone in closer to the action looking for work. I did have that question mark just prior to half-time about his total fitness. Hardy in one side, out the other. Lions can't hold it, and Penrith with the ball through David Green. It's Bentley. Here's a perfect example coming up of Penrith, how they all get in a little bunch. See them now? I mentioned earlier how Alexander went to pass the ball left when they were 20 metres in from touch, and there wasn't a soul in sight. It's obviously the way they train, it's the way they play, but you can throw a tissue across them at times. That's Vatanza. 10 metres into Manly's area, 5 gone. Alexander dancing around from close, and Connor gets the kick in. Blake going back for it, and Blake lets it go rather wisely, I think, the way that ball was bouncing. $14 points to 8. Hasler trapped by Clements. Shearer. Now it's with Blake. Blake from the left wing over on the right that time. This is Ronson, held by Connor and Houghton on the Manly 22 line. Now it's Lyons, across to Cox, wide for Cleal.
Well, good tackle that by Leichhardt. He realised that Manly had the numbers, went in, put pressure on Cleal and forced a ball and all tackle.
There's Hasler. Lyons is down injured. Little kick by Cochrane, touched by Penrith. And he's restarted the tackle count now. I was waiting for it. Cochrane having an excellent game here. Hardy. Chris Houghton paid the penalty for going high. Vatanza's left to make the tackle. And knocked on by Daly. Another reminder, if you'd like to see Australia and England do battle in the 3rd test on this year's Kangaroo Tour to the UK, look for the NEC footy trivia game. It's in tomorrow's 8-page NEC League lifter in the Daily Mirror, of course. Alexander, pass round the corner for Robards. They're coming at him quickly. They've got him, the little fellow. About 8 metres out from the line. Played quickly and still going. No, Houghton can't handle. He's ruled knocked backwards for Izzard to go back to the 10-metre line. Played by Izzard, Simmons. Now it's Alexander holding it back to Simmons. Out and away for Leichhardt. Leichhardt kicks, and it's Blake who comes up with the ball for Manly. Certainly taking the pressure off them. Shearer kicks ahead. He got a checkered passage.
It's got to be a penalty.
Got to be a penalty. And it is. Where the ball landed. So the kick was put in by Dale Shearer. You saw him felled in the back play. Roberts was simply waiting to see where the ball landed, who came up with possession, and the penalty going to Manly. There's his kick. Beautiful off the boot, straight between the uprights, and that's a most important 2-pointer for Manly.
Lyons. Wouldn't mind $50 for every time the kickoff has gone to Cliff Lyons.
They seem to have picked him out for some special attention. He's only come up with the one mistake, but
so Daly puts it down again. That's the second time in the second half that the big fellow's done that. Almost 3/4 of time gone. Picked up at the back of the scrum by Connor. Dangerously close to the Manly line.
Gee, good stretch onto the left here for Penrith if they can get it there, and that was the side the ball should have gone.
Lydiard. Penrith with a lot of numbers on the left, still there. Alexander across to, I think it's Cartwright. Alexander, and he's put him in the sin bin. 10 minutes in the bin for Cliff Lyons for tripping, and a certain 2 points for Penrith. See it again. There goes the foot out from Cliff Lyons, and he put him in the sin bin immediately for 10 minutes. Maybe, just maybe, saved them from 4 points, because Penrith were looking very, very much as though they had a lot of numbers on the left. 16-10 is the scoreline. Connor. 20 minutes of the match remaining.
David Lydiard's a player with a very good football sense. You can expect to see him in this period of time when Manly's starting to get tired, a man off the field looking to get involved around the rucks.
This is Houghton, tackled 10 metres his side of halfway. The lead up done by Lydiard and Izzard. Simmons across to Cartwright. Izzard's long pass out to Bentley. Penrith come now to a point 5 metres into Manly's area. Bentley had no marker. He goes ahead another 20. And Manly, the impetus is gone. They're starting to get very tired as Alexander bombs. Gurr takes it. Gurr coming back outside the 10-metre line. Out to Phil Blake now. Here's Blake on a long run. Here comes Izzard. He goes inside Izzard and is picked up by Vitanza.
That was a desperate time for Manly. Great work by Marty Gurr. He took the bomb just out of his try line area, ran it downfield, slipped it onto Blake, a tremendous pressure saver.
So Manly 32 metres out now. As the kick ahead by Dale Shearer, Robards has to go in and take it. Shearer ran into the upright, and Robards is back into the field of play. I wonder, could you say that Robards used the uprights as a shepherd? Dale Shearer, he was so keen to run the little Panther down, he ran slap bang into the upright. This is Gerard. Penrith gaining 5 and 6 metres. They're running to the defence now. Manly's defence not coming up with that urgency that we saw from them in that first half. Alexander puts the kick straight to Marty Gurr, who got Manly out of a hot situation just seconds ago.
I don't think that would have been the tactic I'd have used. I'd have been prepared to kick the ball for the sideline in my own half, come up with a feed and probably the scrum, sacrifice one tackle to gain 6.
Daly, sideline comment, Graham Hughes.
Well, Ray, you mentioned urgency in the Manly defence. If there was ever going to be any urgency, it's right now. They've got to lift their game. I'm looking to the likes of Noel Clear to get a lot more involved in this game. We mentioned in the first half how Penrith certainly weren't dominating the middle of the rucks. He's the man that should be hitting this ball up in the middle. He's not. I don't know if there's anything wrong with Noel, but he's certainly not involved today. I think in the next 5 minutes, with Manly down to 12 men, look for Alexander to Izzard to try and control this game and do a lot more running.
This is Dale Shearer with a centre kick. Robards underneath it. And there's young Robards tackled inside his own 22 line, and Roberts is going to call out another Manly player for a high tackle on Robards. This time he's got David Ronson. Well, I've got to be honest, I'm a little bit on the Manly fellow side here. I was on Blake's side earlier too. Robards is so small that These fellows have the dickens of a job getting down to what you call the legitimate target area, which is from shoulders down to the tip of your toe. But Robards, have a look at him. I'd like to get him alongside Darryl Broman or somebody if he was still there. He's only a midget. I tell you what, though, he's got a heart as big as Farlap. In fact, I think Farlap's heart will be bigger than it. Handling errors, 15 the Eagles, 11 the Penrith. This is Clements. He and Alexander are switching the halfback role around in this second half. Sometimes it's Clements, sometimes it's Alexander. Here's Lydiard. Goodness gracious, I can't remember a game where I've seen a winger get so involved as David Lydiard has in this game today. Here's Izzard now. He's having a busy game too. So many of these individual clashes, they were so important from a representative point of view for many of these players. That ball's going to find touch.
Well, the touch judge is wrong on that one for mine. I thought the ball did land in the field of play and go out just in front of the corner.
Oh, it did. It did, surely. Unless the sun has got to both of us, let's have another look at it. Fair dinkum, it went over the touchline.
5-yard scrum.
Should have been a scrum 10 metres in and 5 metres out from the line. Anyway, it's the luck of the game. This is Cleo now. Gurr. I was about to say that ball has baffled the Manly winger Ronson. He was going to let 16-10 the score. David Ronson was going to let it go because he thought it was going to go in touch in goal, but it curled around and went into touch. Spot on. Now here's the kick from Mitchell Cox, lollying around and finding the line on the far side of the ground. Well, this time the touch judge is right. Take a bow, sir. There goes Brad Izzard. Had a good game, and as you can see, a tragic ending. Houghton. Craig Izzard. Gerard. 10 metres from the halfway. Alexander, Clements, Alexander, cut-out ball, and this is Bentley. Tackle on the halfway. Alexander. That's Connor. And he's ruled 6 more tackles. He's ruled that the ball was knocked from Connor's grasp by Manly. So he's used a discretionary power that the referee has. Oh, Robards has been tackled.
To his credit, he's bounced up very quickly.
Lyons is the 3rd Manly player now to be cautioned by the referee for high tackles on Robards. And Penrith come up with the penalty for Alexander. Well, we've been down the Robards track before. I don't suppose a man's stature really is an argument, although I have put it a couple of times in the commentary. Craig Izzard. The last 4 minutes, possibly that, I wouldn't think any longer. This is Robards losing it. Paulson. Manly simply needing to play the game at their pace. 6 points in front. And here's Paulson with some cramp. This is Daly. Hasler to the 22 line. Cleo. Cox. Robards underneath it. And this could be the last throw of the dice for Penrith. Green. Away goes Lydiard. Oh, Gibbs got him by the scruff of the neck. Clements. Penrith taking it right down to the wire. Simmons. Houghton. Hasler underneath Houghton as they went to ground. I thought he might have been hurt, Des, but he's not. Alexander floating it across, and Lydiard puts it down. Well, they were the two players that probably had to combine for Penrith to pull a draw out of this. And I'm pretty sure that's what they were thinking themselves. It's going to be up to us. Hasler. So some attention for Des Hasler. There's the tackle by Robards on Hasler. Hasler unable to play the ball. Close. Just in case you've just joined the telecast, Close came on to replace Paul Horton, who has a suspected fracture of the left forearm. There's the siren and the end of this Winfield Cup clash between Manly and Penrith, with Manly defeating Penrith by 16 points to 10. For the Eagles, a very fine try was scored by Ronson. That was the opener. Hasler also scored for the Manly side. Cochrane kicked 4 goals. And for Penrith, David Lydiard, an outstanding individual try. Greg Alexander potting 3 goals. Now let's have a look at the results of all other matches played this weekend. It all started back on Anzac Day with Canterbury, a magnificent win over South, 26-2. Balmain 24, defeating Cronulla 4 yesterday. Parramatta absolutely shellacking Eastern Suburbs 32 points to 0. Canberra, a big win over North as they did in the National Panasonic. Manly 16, Penrith 10, and St George 26, Western Suburbs 12.
St George took just 3 minutes to crack Wests at the cricket ground. A clever Steve Linnane cutout pass sent Michael O'Connor on his way to score, with West winger Paul Sheehan clinging to his legs. The Dragons carried on their improved form from their midweek win over New South Wales Country. They were in to score again 5 minutes later when the Little Gnomes, Chris Guyder and Perry Haddock combined, before Haddock went underneath the tackle to score for O'Connor to add the extras, and St George now led 12 points to 0. Ian Schubert's newfound goal kicking kept West in the match until Steve Linnane engineered a try which looked a rehearsed move. He grubbed it to Steve Morris's wing and Slippery was on the spot to finish it, and the Dragons were now beginning to look like their former selves again. 11 minutes into the second half, St George scored. Jeff Selby was put into a gap by Michael O'Connor. Selby drew the defence before finding Chris Guyder on his inside, and the pint-sized hooker evaded some dreadful West defence to score a well-deserved try. The man of the match, Steve Linnane, was at it again halfway through the second half. The ball went along the line until he found Dennis Kinsella with a fabulous pass, and the big winger's size and strength did the rest. West's hard-working prop Ian Freeman got the Magpies a consolation try after the Saints relaxed. The balding prop went through some soft defence, but the St George Dragons are on their way back after their impressive 26 points to 12 win.
At the Parramatta Stadium, Cliff Young showed he's not just a shuffler, but a dasher as well. But down to the serious business, and Cliffy would have been disappointed by the first half, with both teams making handling errors at vital stages. Leading 4-0 at the break, the Eels moved into top gear in the second half, and it was a length of the field effort from Eric Groth that did the trick. Six minutes later, Price and Ella combined to send Graham Atkins away for the try, and with the conversion, a 16-0 lead. Referee Barry Barnes gave Dean Ballard 10-minute rest for this high tackle on Atkins. By this stage of the match, Parramatta was doing as they pleased when Mark Laurie scored. The try feast continued when Sterling put up the bomb for McGahn to spill badly and Steve Ella to come up with the 4-pointer. The last of Parramatta's 5 tries went to Brett Kenny, with Atkins kicking 6 from 7 to give the Eels a resounding 32-0 victory.
At Seaford Oval, the North Sydney Bears got off to a bright start when winger Les Kiss continued his good form by crossing for his 4th try of the season, and when Filipina converted, Norths led by 6 points to 0. But the Raiders hit the lead for the first time in the match about 14 minutes before the break, when former Test winger Terry Fay raced 80 metres for his try, and the Raiders were back in business with an 8-6 lead. Just after half-time, a try by Gary Belcher kicked the Raiders further ahead, sparking a second-half point-scoring spree as the Bears lose their second on the trot by 32 points to 6.
Well, let's have a look at the premiership table. Parramatta on 14, Manly and Souths jointly on 12, running second, Canterbury 11, Balmain, North St George on 10, Penrith 8, Illawarra and Eastern Suburbs 6, Western Suburbs 5, and Canberra and Cronulla are both on 4. That takes us now to what's happening next weekend, and already on Saturday, it's the Magpies versus the Tigers. Norths play Parramatta, East take on Manly, a very important game for both Penrith and St George. Cronulla takes on Illawarra, it's Canterbury and Canberra, and Souths have the bye. And so there it is for another week, this week of Rugby League. And of course in our program coming up, we'll have the highlights of a very interesting match, the second quarter-final of the National Panasonic between the Sea Eagles of Manly and the Dragons of St George. That, plus a whole host of more Rugby League highlights for you in our program coming up for you the next time we go round. I'm Ray Warren.